Today we shall be taking you to a place called Kundgol. Kundgol or Kundgola is a panchayat town in the Dharwad district in the state of Karnataka. This place has an ancient 11th century temple called the Shambhulingeshwara Temple. This temple was constructed during the kingdom or kingship of the Chalukyas or the Western Chalukyas. This place, Kundgol, was a part of the earlier princely state of Jamkhandi, and later on it was added to the Union of India. This is the look of the Shambhulingeshwara Temple at a place called Kundgol. As we can see, the outer walls are very beautifully carved with many edicules and smaller temples, and when we enter this outer mandap, we find a platform on the right and the left side. It is a raised platform which was earlier used by the visitors to watch various performances in this hall. As we can see, there are large number of intricately carved, shining, polished columns. These columns are the typical lathe columns of the Western Chalukyas. The ceiling of the roof of the mandapa has a large number of lotus motifs with very beautifully carved lotus flower, and the central bud looks like that of a banana plant. In the front, there is the image of Lord Nandi, and then after that the vestibule, and further the Garbhagriha. Here we can see the lotus medallions which have been made on the ceiling of the roof, which look very, very beautiful. This is the look of the temple from inside of the main entrance gate, and as we can see, there are large number of coconut plants. The beautiful thing about this temple is that this temple is surrounded by buildings in which a school is running, and when we came here there were a lot of children studying here. We will be coming back to this temple at a later stage, but before that we will be visiting a water body or a pushkarni or a step well nearby. As we move towards the pushkarni, we find on the left side a pushkarni and on the right side a minor temple. This is a very small temple, but the building of the temple is big, and just adjacent to this temple is a water body. We wanted to find out various water bodies in Kundgol along with the temples. We were thinking of finding a very beautiful water body, and from the top when we have a look, it looks like a very beautiful place with huge green trees surrounding the water body. This water body is surrounded by houses all around it, and the area is very big. However, as we approach the entrance of the water body, we find a lot of dirt and firecrackers which were used some days back. As we step down, the side of the water body presents an ugly picture. This water body is a mirror of the society. This water body, which is attached to the temple, is a mirror of my thought process, your thought process, and the way we lead our lives. This beautiful water body has been converted into a cesspool, a sewage tank or a lake in which the entire sewage of the people living around this beautiful temple complex is coming in this lake. We talk big about making this country beautiful, the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Clean India and whatnot. But this lake or a pushkarni attached to the temple is a true reflection of what we are and what we actually do. Making slogans, writing posts on Twitter and Facebook and on YouTube, and trying to show ourselves as evolved souls is nothing but a farce. I was shocked and pained to see such a bad condition of this pushkarni or the small lake attached to this temple. I know that most of the viewers who will be viewing this, they will not be feeling happy. But this lake or pushkarni is a symbol of what we actually are. If I make a statement that Indians don't have a sense of cleanliness, there are a large number of people who will get annoyed and affected. But the truth is in front of us. All the people who are living around this lake, the small water body, they are all well off. But when it is time to dispose of their scrap or dirt from the house, the easiest way they find is to throw it in this beautiful water body. Even now there is time, and if the people of this place come together, this water body can definitely be cleaned and it can become a place where the people from the nearby places can come and do boating and other activities. Well, I don't know when will this little pushkarni or the tank attached to this temple will be cleaned. I really felt very, very bad. Now is the time to approach the Shambhulingeshwara Temple from the main gate. As we move towards the temple, on the left side we find a cow shed and then a huge electric pole and a building, and on the right side we find a temporary shed. The way these things have been built tells us that we do not have any sense of aesthetics. We do not know how and where to make the small buildings or the sheds. These buildings and the electric poles have destroyed the pious look of this beautiful entrance gate. The shed on the right side is a tin shed. Probably it might have been made to house the temple chariot. However, the way this look of the main tower, entrance tower of the temple has been destroyed pained me a lot. As we approach the entrance step, we find on the right and the left side two beautifully carved sculptures are there in which the mythical creature Makara can be seen. Here the mythical creature Makara has a long tusk like that of an elephant, which is in a spiral, and one of its tusk can be seen which is coming up. There is a floral pattern, and just above the floral pattern we can find the huge tusk of the Makara. There is a lot of embellishment and ornamentation, and there is a very beautiful lotus medallion which has been made with 4 layers of petals made in a circular fashion with increasing diameter. Here the tongue of the mythical creature Makara can be seen, which is projecting out, and this is the Torana or the top area of the entrance gate. Here we find a large number of Makaras and below them we find various deities. At the top we find the image of Lord Ganesha. Now we have entered the temple complex. On the left and the right side we see a few buildings and some children coming out. Buildings surrounding this beautiful temple complex is a school. When we came here, there were a lot of children who were studying in different classes. As we enter the temple, at the top we find a Shivlinga made in black stone. The outer wall of this temple is made up of sandstone with large number of smaller shrines on the temple called the mini edicules. On the right and the left side of this temple we find a raised platform which was probably used during various performances held in this mandapa. The look of the highly polished, rather mirror polished lathe cut pillars was simply majestic. The pillars in this temple are one of the finest pillars which can be seen in any of the Kalyani Chalukya temple or the temples made by the Western Chalukyas. The ceiling of this mandapa is beautifully carved with large number of lotus medallions. In the front we find the vehicle of Lord Shiva, Nandi, and after that there is the vestibule. At the top of the roof ceiling we find this beautiful pattern which is repeated at multiple places. The eaves of the roof are made in a wooden manner as if they are made up of wood. This is a view of the same temple taken from the inside of the entrance gate, and we find large number of coconut plantation which has been made here. The sloping roof is today strengthened by a steel structure. As we move towards the vestibule or the antarala, we find that the door portal has been very beautifully engraved and a beautiful Nandi is sitting silently. This is the Torana or the door portal top portion where we find two makaras on either side and three beautifully carved gods have been made here. In the center we find the mythical demon Kirtimukha. On the right side we can see a very beautiful makara. A place where normally Gajalakshmi is there, here we find Lord Ganesha. There are two beautiful sculptures in the Antarala. This is the beautiful sculpture of Goddess Parvati, the wife of Lord Shiva. Her body is well proportioned. The ornaments are very beautiful, and overall this sculpture looks very beautiful. At the top we find the mythical demon Kirtimukha, which was created by the anger of Lord Shiva and who ate his own body till only his face remained. We can find two makaras just below the Kirtimukha and then the mukuta of Goddess Parvati. The mukuta of Goddess Parvati is very beautifully made. She has been shown here with four arms, and all the four arms are holding different weapons or different objects. She is wearing four-layered necklace. Her earrings are very beautifully made. Her body is made well proportioned. She has a chakra and a padma in her hands. Even in the legs, the ornaments and the embellishments have been very beautifully shown. This is another sculpture, a beautiful sculpture of Lord Ganesha, which is on the left side of the Antarala or the vestibule. Here also at the top we find a very beautiful image of kirtimukha, and we can find two makaras on the right and the left side. The eyes of kirtimukha are shown popping out. Regular puja is being held in this temple, and this is the beautiful sculpture of Lord Ganesha, the elephant-headed god. His headgear is also made very beautiful, and his ornaments are made very beautifully. We can find a snake at his belly. It is said that once Lord Ganesha ate so much that his stomach was about to burst. He found a snake which was passing by, and he tied this snake as his belt. Since then, Lord Ganesha is always depicted with a snake as a belt tied to its belly. We can find laddus or modak in his hand. The trunk is very beautifully made. This is the door portal of the Garbhagriha. Here we find Gajalakshmi, and two elephants are there which are showering flowers on her. Or maybe probably they are doing Jalabhishek of Goddess Lakshmi. This is a very intricately carved sculpture, and we find two lotus buds, two banana buds on the left and the right side. The vertical panel has a pilaster, and there are various small images beautifully carved on them. The lighting here was very less, and because of which it was very difficult to capture the smaller images. We have made an attempt. You may like to tell us how our attempt was. Now we are coming out of this mandapa, and this is the back side of the entrance tower. This has been converted into a residential area. These are the beautifully carved outer walls of the mandapa where various gods and goddesses have been shown, and below we find small minor shrines called edicules, and between each shrine we find the lion symbol. Small pillars have been made, two smaller pillars have been made between the image of each god on the outer walls. Here we can find Brahma, Vishnu, and various other gods. This lion is a typical feature which appears in the outer walls of the temples of the Western Chalukyas. Let us once again go inside this temple and capture the beauty of the polished lath pillars of this temple for which it is famous. When we come here, we are transported to a different world, a world 1,000 years back. The serenity of this environment, the piousness of this place, with the sound of the children playing all around the school, was a wonderful experience. While we were in the temple, it was time for the school children to go out, and we have tried to capture the movement of the children here. Small children coming to the temple and using this premises as a school, I am sure they will develop a very beautiful feeling towards our ancient structures and the temples, and when they grow up, they will definitely have lot of love and affection for our ancient temples. It is our belief that all these temples where people normally do not go, it will be more appropriate if these temples are converted into schools for the children of the village, and by doing that, it will be easy to maintain the temples also. Cleanliness of the temples can also be maintained. I do not know Kannada, but some of our friends who have an idea about what is written may like to translate the writing on the wall. In the temple premises, we found few children who were enjoying under the shade of the tree and playing volleyball. It was a very pleasant sight. Before leaving this place, we thought of taking a video of the various classes and the classrooms surrounding the temple. The roof of these buildings is typical sloping roof, and it has got what we call the fire baked tiles called the Mangalore tiles. We found an inscription, but it seems that this inscription has been made very late. After the visit to the temple was over, we decided to explore this village. We went to certain houses where the type of buildings were very ancient and old. One of the buildings near the temple was used as a cowshed. All this area must have been earlier a part of this temple complex, as can be seen from the type of construction which is there in the walls of these temples, this building. After coming out of this place, we decided to explore this area and try to see the manner in which people spend their lives. We were told that there is one more pushkarni or a step well nearer to this temple. We were expecting a very beautiful pushkarni and a water body full of beautiful flowers and clean water. However, we were amazed and shocked to find the dirt and the vegetation surrounding the steps which led to the pushkarni. This is a second pushkarni which is nearer to this temple, and unfortunately it has been abandoned by the people of this area. It has also become a dumping ground of dirt and garbage which is being thrown by the people surrounding this place. Another shocking thing which we noticed was that this huge red stone mountain which is there is a ancient cave inside this area. However, probably this area has been encroached and this pushkarni is being converted into some residential complex, as we can find the foundation of a huge building which is likely to come up. There was a cave temple, we were told, in Kundgol, and there was not much data about it. While trying to find that cave temple, we landed up at this place. This area was earlier a stepwell and a pushkarni, and just besides, on the back side, we find the cave temple. There was no steps and no way to reach that place. But since we had come here, we decided that come what may, we will reach that place. It was a very dangerous area. There was a lot of water and we didn't knew how deep was the water. But since we had come here, we wanted to have a look at the cave temple. As you can see, this area is surrounded by a hillock. And it is a very different colored sandstone. This sandstone is almost blood red in color, and we have never seen such a reddish sandstone earlier in our life. On the left side, it was a deep cesspool, and on the right, a lot of huge vegetation. It was very difficult to move here, but somehow we managed to come. Here you can have a look. This red, it is almost blood red sandstone which looks like almost the color of a flesh. On the right side is the Kundgol cave. Most of the sculptures and the iconography has been hewn and chiseled out and removed from this place. It is a clear sign that the walls of the caves have been broken purposely, and each and every sculpture and idol in this cave has been purposely destroyed. In the front right side, we found a small door. This area was a very difficult area to move, and I will not suggest anybody to come here. This was a cave temple at some stage of time, but over a period of time it went into disuse. This is another smaller cave. We tried to have a look of this inside area, however there was no light and it was very difficult to capture the image. It was a very bad and a sad feeling to see the ancient cave temples getting lost at a place called Kundgol and the area being encroached. Rather than encroaching, this area could have been converted into something beautiful so that the ancient heritage of India could have been preserved. It is a matter of time when this whole area will have a huge building or a mall with a lot of shopping complexes and residential areas. In a matter of months, this cave temple and this pushkarni will be lost forever. Well, this was our small attempt to bring the ancient temples of India in the common public domain. If you liked our journey and if you like what we have shown it to you, you may like to comment and share this video among your friends. Our journey to discover the lesser known ancient temples and structures will continue. Thanks a lot.